Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the backstory. If you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified when we post a new video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has thrown spanner in the works in the plans by the Kenya Kwanza administration to amend 4 existing laws. And Wetangula, in his communication, has cautioned President Ruto against plans to alter the administration of government. Kenya Kwanza administration has plans through a bill that they have sponsored in parliament to amend 4 existing laws. And some of the laws are Assumption of Office of the President Act 2012, National Security Council Act of 2012, Office of the Attorney General Act 2012, and the National Government Coordination Act of 2013. Now, in this bill, which the Kenya Kwanza administration is seeking to amend the laws, they're kind of trying to amend government bodies and how they operate. And that is why Wetangula has cautioned them that whatever they are trying to do is touching on the constitutionality and the independence of those bodies. So if you look at one of the laws that they're trying to amend, which is Office of the Attorney General's Act of 2012, there's a proposal by the Kenya Kwanza administration to move some roles from the Attorney General's office and confer them in the office of the head of public service office. And if you look at that, the Attorney General's office, I think I talked about this in the previous video, but the Attorney General's office is recognized in the Constitution, while the head of public service office is not recognized in the Constitution. Takes me to the issue where we ask, are we kind of amending the Constitution through the back door? And I remember keenly when I was watching the BBI case, one major issue that came out prominently was the basic structure doctrine. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't know if it applies here. If you're a lawyer, you can give me your feedback by commenting on the video down below. Does it apply here? Because I'm thinking there is the basic structure of the Constitution. There is what is recognized by the Constitution, and then there is the introduction of other roles by taking some roles from constitutionally recognized offices and then bestowing them in other offices which are created by the Kenya Kwanza administration. So the question is, are we amending the Constitution through the back door? And is it allowed or is it legal? So those are some of the issues that Wetangula has raised with the Kenya Kwanza administration. Remember, these amendments that were taken to Parliament, according to the grapevine in the corridors of power, these amendments or this bill was taken to Parliament without the input of the Attorney General. Then the second issue, which is also raising a lot of questions, is the issue of National Government Coordination Act. In the National Government Coordination Act, the Kenya Kwanza administration was looking at ways of anchoring the introduction of the CAS positions, anchoring them in the Constitution. Remember, the issue of Cabinet Assistant Secretaries or the CAS is already in court. And it's something that was introduced during Uhuru's era, and the court ruled on it. When Ruto came in, he also started working on reintroducing the CAS positions. But the court has also ruled on it, but they're trying to look at ways of reintroducing it through the back door. So what Wetangula has cautioned the Kenya Kwanza administration on is by telling them that, hey guys, this is a constitutional matter which is already in court. We need not to use the back door to bring it back into parliament. But still, let's even leave alone the issue of being reintroduced. We want to look at reasons as to why. Why is William Ruto insisting on introducing the CS positions? Because when they were asked some times back, they defended the position and talked about the expertise that these guys were bringing on board. But if you look at the names of the people who are proposed for this position, you remain wondering, like, what kind of expertise are they bringing on board? Some of these guys are not professionals in any field. What they are good at is politics. But look at it this way. The ministries have professionals. Like if you start from a junior officer in a ministry, their ranks, they move through the ranks all the way to cabinet positions. So most of the time you find that a cabinet minister or a cabinet secretary is not a professional within that ministry. But we have guys who deal with policies within all the way. We have undersecretaries. Undersecretaries are very senior officials or senior members of a ministry who are very senior professionals in that ministry. So for me, if I was to get CASs, then I would promote the undersecretaries within those ministries who are professionals who understand the nitty-gritties of the ministries, the requirements of those ministries, the policies, what needs to be done. Those are the guys that I would promote, not politicians per se. Because politicians, what expertise are they bringing on board? Because some of them, I would say, as I've said before, they are politicians. There is no expertise. So why would you bring them on board? And then if you secondly look at the amount of money that they are being paid and what Kenyans are currently complaining about, which is the wage bill. This is something that the Kenya Kwanza administration should have let go. In fact, they should have thanked the courts for making this work very easy. So in a way, they're trying to reintroduce the CA's positions through this bill. And Wetangula has cautioned them to treat carefully because this is a matter which is in a court of law that needs not to be discussed in parliament. And the third issue, which the bills are seeking to amend, is the National Security Council Act of 2012. I talked briefly about it in the previous video, which you can go back and watch. But key issues that are being raised here are: one, we have the National Security Council, which is headed by the president. We have other members who are head of the military, head of the National Intelligence Service, the cabinet secretaries of internal security and all that, the deputy president. But in this amendment, the Kenya Kwanza administration is seeking to create a national security committee. I talked about it in the previous video. The committee has very few members, and it will be headed by the head of public service. And that head of public service will be chairing that committee. So it's like we are creating other offices within the other offices which are not recognized in the constitution, and giving them more power. I believe that if Kenya Kwanza doesn't take a lot of caution, or if they do not take heed of what Moses Wetangula is, the national speaker, Moses Wetangula is telling them, then someone or some lawyer will take them to court, and then at the end of it, all the amendments will be declared null and void. So what the Kenya Kwanza administration needs to do is to go back to the drawing board, look at some of the issues that have been raised by Moses Wetangula, some of the issues that have been highlighted by Moses Wetangula, and some judicial officers, so that they can iron them out and fine-tune the bill and take them to parliament. So what Wetangula has told them, or has told the Kenya Kwanza administration, is to treat carefully. But he has also asked on JLAC and what do we call it? The House Committee on the Constitutional Implementation and Oversight, that is chaired by Githunguri MP, Gathoni wa Mushomba, so that they look at that bill keenly and find those areas that contradict the constitutionality of those offices, so that before they table that their report in parliament, they should have pointed out and ironed out all those issues. But for me, I think the best thing that the Kenya Kwanza administration need to do is to withdraw that bill, go and look at the issues that are in conflict, then bring it back to parliament. That is it from me today, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, goodbye.